All right, excellent afternoon to all those who are watching me across the state. They said, where does help come from? I know many of us will quote the scripture saying, help does come from God. Yes, it does come from God, but God will often use humans to save humans, as even those who help themselves, they say. And my edition for today is about an NGO helping a lot of lives, impacting a lot of lives, I must say. And again, let me welcome you to another interesting episode of Real Talk with Kike. I remain your convener, your executive producer, your scriptwriter. My name remains Kike Atanda-Owo. Of course, I have a team that works closely with me, who I must say that most of the time they bring in their best, but we do clash. But that's another story for another day. Guys, I think it's important for us to hear what On This Day initial segment asked for us today. Let's listen, and when I come back, I'll give my 2 cents on it. Stay with me, I'll be right back. All right, many thanks for staying with me. My takeaway from On This Day initial segment is about the adoption of Nigeria's 1979 Constitution on September 17, 1978, to be precise, that marked a pivotal shift towards, democratic governance, after years of military era or military rule, and its introduction of a presidential system, that was inspired by the USA, that reflected a lot of efforts in terms of the stabilization of governance, and have reduced ethnic and regional division. When I say division, that had weakened the First Republic, so to speak. And today, the legacy of this constitution, persists in Nigeria's political structure today in terms of influencing modern democratic practices. However, issues such as political instability, regionalism, the quest for inclusive governance remain relevant challenges in our political scene today, especially when it comes to us reflecting on the ongoing need for refined democratic institutions thus far in this country, Nigeria. I think that's my takeaway thus far from On This Day initial segment. I keep asking, what do you want to be remembered for? That's what this segment is all about. But it's time for a quick message from my sponsors, those who have put me on this platform. Let's hear a message from them. And when I return, we'll dive straight to the main conversation at hand. Stay with me. I'll be right back. All right, many thanks for staying with us. In the current climate of Nigeria's healthcare system, where millions of poverty-stricken children lack access to essential medical treatment, an initiative like Helpster Clarity US, is critically needed, and the healthcare infrastructure is under immense strain, with rising costs and limited resources, particularly in rural and underserved areas, and government hospitals are often overwhelmed, and private healthcare remains beyond the financial reach of most families, I must emphasize, because this situation at hand has only worsened due to economic downturn and inflation, mixing healthcare access even would I say more exclusive for vulnerable populations. And on today's episode, I am honored to discuss the life-saving work of Helpster Charity US, an international non-profit using technology, to connect the needy children in Nigeria and, of course, and other parts of Africa and Asia with individuals who are willing, to fund their critical health care. And my guest today is Ejen. I hope I pronounced that word properly. He is the community manager of Helpster Charity, and she will take us through how the charity has already saved close to 700 children, with 300 more currently awaiting funding through their app and web platform. So before we dive into Real Talk with my guest, I think it's important for us to check our profile. And when I return, we will be speaking to my guest. Stay with me, I'll be right back. All right, many thanks for staying with us. Let me use this opportunity to quickly usher in my guest. Of course, I have Ejen Odu, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely.
I was told I pronounced the name properly. Yay! Many thanks for creating time to share light on the issue at hand. And I must say, well done with all that you've been doing thus far in terms of impacting lives. So let me quickly bring to fore, because I believe that Helpster Charity US, is a tech charity, since that has been founded since 2023. So it's still a baby company, so to speak, if I'm allowed to say that. Could you please share with us the origin, of this, of the story behind this NGO, and of course, what inspired the founders, to launch Helpster? What is the organizational mission, when it comes to where it operates from, where the location is at the moment, and of course all that you have done thus far.
Thank you so much for that question, Kike. Helpster Charity as an NGO was born out of the issue of some group of people trying to donate to a charity organization, and they were looking for credibility and transparency. They went online and they couldn't really find any NGO that has tech base and have all their records, cumbersome process. So they decided as tech guys, to come together and create an NGO using technology where real-time data of the children, cases will be on the website, and all records from coming on board, in treatment, children who have been treated, and then also children awaiting treatment. So it's born out of that desire to be transparent, to also restore hope and give life. And one of the missions at Helpster Charity is to provide basic or vital health care where it's mostly needed. And then they chose Nigeria, Kenya, and part of Asia. And part of the reason they chose that is because they find out that these are places that have high poverty rates. It's not that there's no medical or hospital infrastructures, but they find out that it is almost limited, So that was why they actually even chose Nigeria, Kenya, and part of Asia. And so far so good. We've been able, like you said, to provide access to vital medical care to almost 700 children. And as of today, we have almost 300 and are waiting. 300 and more children who are waiting, because these people it's 2023. They funded it out from their pockets, and it's very pertinent to also say that the overhead cost and the running of the organization is separately sorted out by some well-meaning philanthropists and all that. So every donation made to Helpster Charity actually goes towards funding, whether it's sepsis, pneumonia, whatever case it may be.
All right, many thanks again for bringing us to speed how it originated from. But I must ask you, because you provide healthcare access through an app, through web platform. Can you walk us through these tech solutions? Because the reason why I'm bringing that to fall in terms of the tech solution work that you have done thus far is the fact that, I feel that how do you connect all of this, all this app with healthcare, with potential donors? What makes your tech platform, different from the other people who are doing the same thing, but in terms of beneficiaries, donor, and the fact that you're saying it's tech? Rural areas don't have technology. How do you go about that? Do they have access to tech? Do they have access to internet? Do they even have the kind of phone to access what you're providing?
Okay, Kike, rural areas do not have access to technology. But what we've come to find out through our research is that remote areas are critically in need of healthcare services. So we basically at Helpster, we're looking for people who are not just tech savvy, but are also passionate to donate. Now, when you access the app from the website, which is www.helpstercharity.org, when you come on the portal, there's a real-time place where you can easily donate. So the process is seamless. Not only that, you can actually download the Helpster charity app on Play Store and also the other iOS. You know, that's where you can actually get the app to navigate to pay. One beautiful thing also about Helpster charity is making the website and the app, the functionalities are easy. When you go on the app, you see all the cases of the children with their name, their data, information, and even the disease, the treatment. And then you can also, there are almost about 250 plus cases on the app and the website. It's so beautiful. All you need to do is just swipe cases, and then you actually donate based on which case appeals to you. Then when you come down on the app, you see that the records of the children, City Premier Hospital in Sokoto, the invoices are there. The hospitals in Cambodia, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, every documentation are there. The records are there. So we not only bring the records to you so that you see it real time, but also there's a 2023 annual impact report that you can actually watch and also verify and see all the things that we're doing. So it makes it easy using tech because, I mean, you know the issue of skepticism when people want to make donations and all that. But you are seeing that you can verify the hospitals, verify the doctors, get the information because the names of the hospitals are on the website.
Okay, many thanks for bringing light, as in bringing a lot of light to when people donate money, because quite a number of people are really skeptical, honestly, when it comes to donating to NGOs. They feel that, you know, we've heard a lot of bad cases, but don't let me, you know, open the rug on that. But, you know, let's focus on the impact now, because I feel that that's really important. You've spoken about over 700 vulnerable children through donations on your own platform that have been catered to, and we still have about 300 more currently awaiting funding, so to speak. You know, could you share a specific, you know, story that illustrates the life-changing impact that Helpster, in terms of the impact that was had with the child's life? Because earlier you were talking about, you know, how the names of the children and on the website and all of that. What has been the emotional response thus far when it comes to both the donor and, of course, the children themselves?
For us at Helpster, one thing we'll see is that the growth process of the cases that we take on. For instance, you can also go and verify. There's Alex Zuma in Kenya. I mean, his leg amputated since he was a young child. No access to, I mean, if there was an instant, you know, response, I'm not sure maybe his leg would have been amputated, but Helpster swiftly came in and then were able to provide medical care for Alex Zuma in Kenya, and then we provide crutches. Not only that, because Alex wasn't working and his home was far from the school, he wasn't going to school. But now with the help of Helpster charity and Alex has crutches, he can go to school. His videos are there on even our socials to go and verify. Then there's also Khadija Shehu. Khadija Shehu has issues of sepsis. A young girl. She had issues of sepsis, and Helpster charity had to swiftly come in through the help of donors and City Premier Hospital, you know, to ameliorate that situation. One of the things that we are very grateful for is that we believe at Helpster charity that no child should die as a result of not being able to provide financial, what's it called? Healthcare challenge, yes.
Okay, I like what you've done thus far, I must say, and it's really impactful when it comes to, you know, the challenges that we face in the health sector, especially when it comes to the vulnerables. But I understand also that pregnant women, you know, and young adults are also covered under your initiative. I would like you to throw more light on that, elaborate on it in terms of, you know, the broader range of people, you know, you serve beyond just children, beyond the fact that you've shared Alex Zuma's story with us, you've shared Khadija's as well. how do you ensure that all age groups in need of critical health care are supported regardless of ethnic, gender and sex, gender and all of that, and sometimes also I feel that aside the fact that, okay, these particular groups are vulnerable, sometimes you are in the modern environment and you realize that even people who are okay are still struggling with finances. Can such people also apply to your program? I'm just trying to widen the
whole... Thank you so much for that question.
Yeah.
Yes, Helpster Charity focuses on women and children, but the core of the Helpster Charity is basically children and youth. That's because we realize that the children are on the borderline of the spectrum.
What about the pregnant women?
I was going to come there, but even the pregnant women too, because we also realize that in these places that Helpster Charity are having foothold now, in Kenya, Nigeria, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Cambodia, if you check the medical problem and below poverty level, you find out that it's very, very high. But we're not saying that we do not take on women on board, but our focus is on children.
Okay.
Yes.
Since your focus is on children, apart from connecting children to healthcare funding, you conduct regular medical outreach to quite a number of people. What motivates this outreach program, especially when it comes to the kind of service that you provide during this medical outreach initiative? I would like you to share more knowledge regarding not overlooking the healthcare system in totality and just concentrating on one. That's my first question. And my second question before we go on break is the fact that the operation in Africa today can be challenging. There's no ease of doing business in this country. I try to keep it real on this platform, especially when it comes to donation. I like the fact that your organization is transparent about those who are donating, where the money is going to, and the like, which is part of the challenges we face in this country. So how do you manage the donation, maybe in terms of how you utilize all the intended humanitarian purposes? Because I know that some people, it's not even about cash now, it could be in other ways. What specific measures does Helpster charity helps to ensure that donors can trust you enough to say that they will utilize this fund for the right thing?
Okay, I'll answer the first question. Because of our charity organization has 62.5% admission rate. So we realized that we cannot take everybody on board. After the verification and the screening process, we have volunteers, who will normally go and verify these cases, and even the country manager. So we decided to have a program outreach that we can bring everybody, and then we can also attend to them and treat basic diseases and all that. So far, so good. In that context, we've done almost 12 outreaches across Kenya, Nigeria, and the whole of Asia. Then we've been able to cater to more than 8,000 people, providing on-site screening, giving medication, and then we decide what cases we need to admit on board after the outreaches. From the outreaches, as of today, I think that we've been able to verify those cases, screen them, and then admitted almost 47 people new on board. That means we have about, as at last year, 234 people plus 47 people now. Presently, we're actually trying to do something in the Ajegule area. The stakeholders are trying to talk to some of the community managers. That date and time we'll be able to reel out to the audiences. But some of also the things that we've done is that we've partnered with Chess in Slum, and that was in Makoko with Onokoya, the Onokoya guy, and we on the spot treated almost 4,000 people. on the spot. So what it means is, because we cannot cater to everybody, we take the most critical cases. We have also structured a plan whereby we do these outreaches so that we can give on-site screening, treat cases that are cases like malaria. We can treat that. Then we make the diagnosis. Once the diagnoses are very important, then we bring them on board.
Okay, fantastic. Many thanks for your submission thus far. We'll go on a quick break now.
Thank
and
you.
when we return, the conversation will continue. Stay with me, I'll be right back. This is Real Talk with Kike. All right, glad to know you are still right there with us. In case you just joined the show, today's conversation is centered around the life-saving effort of Helpster Charity US, using technology, to fund healthcare for will I say vulnerable children, so to speak, across Africa and Asia. And our guest today is Ejen who have been sharing valuable insight into what Helpster operates on and the impact that they are creating. And I must say many thanks thus far with all that you've been sharing with us, and of course impacting the society at large, not just in Nigeria but in Africa and of course Asia as well. But with all that you've shared thus far, I felt that, okay, before I come to you, let me use this opportunity to open the phone lines. Remember that you can be part of this conversation by calling the studio number 0811 8888 It will be showing on your screen right now. And of course, we're streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube, both on Real Talk with Kike platform and on Silverbird platform. AJ, you've said a lot right now, and I can see that you're holding a plaque, and I felt that I needed to bring that to fore. What does this plaque, what does it stand for? And also for those who would like to donate, so to speak, what's the website they have to download? What are the process? Because you never know who is listening right now. You never know who would like to donate. I'd like you to, combine both now. Let us know what this, plaque is for. And of course, in terms of donation to your organization, Helpster Charity.
Yeah. Kike, this project is huge. This project is large. When we go on the site and we see all these countless children, you feel for them, and there's this empathy and all that. As I work as a committee manager and fundraiser for Helpster Charity, we've come up with different strategies, because believe you me, we have been funding this project through some of the donations from the trustees and the people who have these ideas, and we are not able to cater for the 250 or 300 people plus, because our account is actually going down the drain. So we have this program called Helpster Project $10 Helpster. So
okay.
What Project $10 Helpster does is, we're calling out to people, whether you are a philanthropist, you are a corporate organization, an individual, to donate something to the charity. So, Kike, imagine what $10 can buy. A pizza, shawarma, ice cream. Some of us, we take ice cream throughout the week, but imagine you just forfeiting that ice cream or forfeiting that pizza for a child. When you go on the site, you see some of the cases we are treating. When you see the bill, $100, $150, $234, we're just calling for a little token through Project $10 Helpster. We're saying that be my Helpster hero and donate at least $10 towards medication. $10 from $234 per child, it's still something. We're also saying that we want more Helpster heroes like you. Thank you so very much, because providing this platform to just talk about this, something that is a passion for me. You can also be an Helpster hero to tell people about Helpster Charity and how they can donate to Helpster Charity. So basically, Project $10 is we coming to say, please donate at least $10 to Helpster Charity, and we are running Project $10 for the next 6 months to see what we can have in our coffers, so that we can begin to take care of these children who are basically on the record and not in treatment, because we've treated some people are still waiting for treatment. And also we have the influence for good. You know, what you're doing now is influencing for good. So influencing for good is generally just saying that you can make a short video to talk about influencing for good for Helpster charity, and saying you can put any amount on your influence for good video, you know, and talk to people, you know. But basically, influence for good is you putting out those words or write-up or video on social media. I will also reiterate again and thank you very much. What you're actually doing now is actually influencing for good, because bringing us here to just talk about this charity organization is a huge
so let's
influence.
talk about more of influence, because I know that you're a gospel artist. You know, for those who do not, who are not, you know, capable of, you know, supporting financially, I must ask you, do you sing at the on field for these people, aside singing in church or other places like that? And those, you know, who would like to say, okay, we don't have money, but we can sing, or we can come help you out one way or the other. Let's talk about your other career of being a gospel artist.
Oh, Kike, okay. Wow, you brought that in. Wow. Thing is, first of all, for you to be called into any creative, like you seated there, me singing or whatever, you know, working for any charity organization, you have to have passion and the spirit of empathy, you know. I think my music also has actually pushed me over the years, because over the years, almost 16 years, I've been working for different charity organizations and then stumbled on Helpster. What the music does for me is that it gives me power to be able to articulate, and then as a fundraiser and a community manager, just the way we have a project, $10 Helpster, project Influence for Good, I think that there'll be something coming up to say, sing for charity, sing for Helpster, you know, as we move on, you know. So you can actually sing for Helpster charity on any of your social media, on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, and then you can just tag project $10 Helpster. What do you think? People singing, to just sing a song and say you're dedicating it to a Helpster charity because you want to raise $10, you know. That would be nice.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That would be nice.
But it starts with you first.
I will do it.
Go and check out. Anyway, putting that aside, because I know this is a tech-based model of Helpster charity, you know, and I know you've shared so much right now. I would like you to talk more about the expectations with increasing interest, you know, of using technology to solve this, you know, health global challenges that we found ourselves. I don't like to call it problem, I like to call it challenges, you know. So do you see this model expanding beyond the regional what's it called, Africa and Asia that you have created? Because going through some of your works, like I told you before coming on there, I just felt that I needed to bring this to fore. What challenges are you facing, particularly in scaling down the platform? Because I know that many people struggle with anything that has to do with technology. And my last question to you is the fact that the power of individual donation to center around, or to central to Helpster charity, because I feel that the success story thus far is enough to actually motivate anybody. But how do you actually ensure that these funds are used effectively? I know you've shared a lot about that, but you must understand that Nigeria, Africans, we have issues when it comes to issues like that. Yes, everything is transparent. How transparent is this? Sometimes people go behind and doctor so many things. You know what I'm talking about. I try to keep things real, real as much as possible. So what are the, can you share with us the process in terms of verification with medical cases, you know, before they are approved for funding? Some people also come and they lie, they say all sorts of say, oh, I have these health challenges and the likes and all of that. But because they are trying to source for funds to benefit them, how do you guys put all those checks and balances in place? Those are my last two questions to you.
Helpster has been able to put a structure in place where we do in screening, and also we have a team of volunteers. Not only do we have a team of volunteers that see to cases, go to check their hospitals, we also have a country manager by name Dr. Perpetua Mbanefo. And then when we verify those cases, we bring it back to the board and the trustees, and then they do their check and balances. We request for the invoices, call the hospital, speak to the doctors. Technology has so made it very easy nowadays that you can actually do a Zoom and a, you know, WhatsApp video call. We do all those things. But you also said that what are some of the challenges, and then we scaling up. How we scale in Helpster is the fact that we have this team of volunteers, you know, that we network with. We have volunteers in Kenya, here in Nigeria, in Bangladesh, Cambodia, and Sri Lanka. And there are also backstories, like when we finalize the cases and the case are being treated, we have a lot of videos to show the progress of the child or the mother. We tell the stories from the children and the family of the child perspective. So everything you need for verification is there. But like you said, because of all this, let me say, Nigerian balance, mago and wayo of nowadays, although we work remotely, we've been able, all our staffs, they go out on the field. They go out on the field to verify the cases. They go to the homes of the child, make videos of the child. They also go to the hospitals. And once the child is on admission, we send someone to go and verify the cases. I mean, there are so many things. I can categorically say that one of the hospitals that we use is the amazing Divine Hospital in Ijebu-Ode, which I'm going to be going there sometimes during the week. So we have staffs that are dedicated, and all hands are on deck to make sure that Nigerians are not just donating to something that is not, you know, that is not real. Also, I will say that for you to make the donations, please just go on Helpster in Nigeria, Kenya, Sri Lanka, Cambodia, Bangladesh. But we wanted to spread it to all over part of the world. Take, for instance, one of the reasons we didn't put Somalia on our list was because of the bottleneck of sending money, paying the hospitals and everything from US. You can imagine if there was a good structure in place in Somalia, Helpster charity would have been able to go into that country, because they are on the downline of poverty. But we hope that most of all these bottlenecks will be eventually ameliorated, then we'll be able. But with your help, you know, as soon as more donations come in, we'll be able to take on more people into the program. Don't forget, about 300 plus people are still waiting to be financed so that they can have operation pneumonia, sepsis, appendicitis, liver disease. We have several cases. When you go on the website, you will see the picture of the children, the picture of the mother and child, the cases, the amounts that we need for each cases, what has been treated, what is in record, and the children waiting in line.
All right. Many thanks for all that you've shared us. I wish you the very best as you continue to impact the society at large, and I pray for God to perfect all that concerns you too, because most times the people who actually impact lives also need help. People forget that, so yes, well done. Thank you. That is where I draw the curtains of today's show, but let's quickly move to trending. I don't know if you guys can actually work on that. And the first trending story that caught my attention is that of the UK police, in terms of how they have been able to address Nigerian wives, This video is just surfacing after almost 2 years, when it was really, short, as I've read from other blogs and online articles. However, it is a show that the mania has not subsided in Western world. The issue is not just only in UK, I must emphasize, it's across Europe, it's across, you know, America, name it, because the people involved have the same Nigerian African DNA, so to speak. So Nigerians, you know, I just feel that, you know, reading all of this, you know, reading further, there have been a lot of, you know, back and forth in terms of different perspectives according to some reports online. But I like the fact that the UK police have, you know, queried the officer who addressed Nigerians in this post on why should there be, you know, discouraging women from reporting domestic abuses and mental related offenses and all of that. And I feel that the reason for this is not just for us to hinder justice, but also in terms of the involvement of the law in the matter, as at when due and other rationale involved. So if you ask me, with that being said, you know, the directive from the UK police, you know, urging Nigerian spouses, particularly wives, to refrain from reporting their husbands over minor disputes, you know, reflect a growing tension between cultural expectations and, of course, the legal system abroad. Many Nigerian women in the UK seek, you know, police intervention for domestic issues, which often lead to misunderstanding or involving misunderstandings and conflict that might, you know, traditionally be resolved within the families or communities in Nigeria, you know, and all of that. But in these cases where we are invoking police authority, can result in unintended consequences, including deportation of your spouse, you know, or permanently legal marks or stain that can affect the family dynamics and, of course, the immigration status and all of that. So I just feel that this video, you know, tends to just highlight the disconnection between African culture practices and where family elders or religious leaders, you know, often, you know, mediate disputes, you know, where issues of institution called marriage are involved. But also, I think it also underscores the challenges of, you know, adapting to new environments where laws are strictly enforced to maintain social order. However, what's the word now? I think that the law enforcement for minors, you know, is also an issue that I needed to bring to fore, because we might want to look at it that is, you know, immigration family is being eroded in terms of social relationships that could, you know, otherwise benefit from cultural sensitive conflict and all of that, but conflict resolution, to be precise, in terms of the method at which women absolutely have the rights to protect themselves and their interests within the marriage, because it is important for me to also actually carefully highlight that we must consider the implication of involving the police when it comes to marital disputes, you know, especially when it comes to children that are involved. If children are involved in a marriage, it's something that I feel that we must be, you know, careful in terms of how we report our husbands to the authorities, which might seem like the only solution sometimes when heated moments are brought to fall. And of course, when it comes to us understanding that we must create an environment where there's a long-term solution to issues, not consequences, so to say, because of the family and the children that I've highlighted right now, that might suffer the most when it comes to parents who are in conflict. And of course, the issue of police records, you know, we are abroad, there's a lot of documentation that is being held with seriousness, unlike where we are from, you know, where there's no record at all. So deportation could disrupt the emotional and financial stability of any home. And women should, you know, prioritize that. I must emphasize, yes, I'm of the opinion that, yes, walk away when it affects your sanity, you know, and all of that. But part of this issue at hand is also a woman empowering themselves. Understand that the power is in your hands. There must be other alternative in terms of how which want to, in terms of conflict resolution method, and of course counseling, you know, mediating from, you know, family to family, that can bring solutions to some of the negative that we have found ourselves in a union with children being involved, and addressing these concerns in a way that it is fair for both parties, including the children. I think that is important for me to highlight that, because responsibility starts with every one of us. So we must maintain a subtle environment for the entire family. Furthermore, I think that it is important for me to also emphasize the situation isn't just limited to just gender specific effects. Men too face all this risk. as some women might also, you know, exploit the legal system to manipulate the situation at hand. We women, we are evil sometimes, some women. I'm just trying to keep it with Ejen. And you're laughing because it's the fact, because, you know, without, whichever way we look at it, you know, sometimes women feel that, you know, yes, we've got into an environment where it covers, you know, we have power, so to speak, to exhibit so many things, and the financial pressures that I feel that men go through, most men don't talk about it. Most men, I think that they are isolated from just speaking their mind. They say men don't cry. My boys cry. They must cry because they have emotion. So the social ramification can actually, it's part of the ripple effect of which we see today when men react to communities, and the children and the extended family and the larger Africa in diaspora often have to be cautious when it comes to this crossfire. So the next trending story is that of the NIDCOM that probes Nigerians' illegality. You know, that was the illegality in detaining Libya. And I feel that, you know, coming onto this story, I want to, first of all, I must commend Honorable Abike Dabiri, you know, the chairperson of NIDCOM, Nigeria in Diaspora Commission. She has been relentless. Almost every Nigerian can reckon with the work that she has done, you know, thus far, day in, day out, you know, with all that is happening right now in the interest of Nigerians and Nigerians across the world. So it is sad that, you know, these despicable Nigerians, so to speak, who are most, I don't know, I think the prominent people in Africa, Nigerians are the most prominent people, however I want to look. I stand to be correctable. You know, we'll be, I don't know, we'll be languishing in jail in another African country, in another African state. What a shame. The accusing fingers pointing at us. The government and the people who chose to ridicule their personality and their nationality outside the borders. You know, the ongoing investigation by NIDCOM into Nigerians illegal detained in Libya, Libya prisons to be precise, brings to light, you know, the crisis that I feel that illegal migration we are going through when it comes to thousands of Nigerians risking their lives in search of a better opportunity in Europe, despite the dangers, dangers, you know, in terms of the economic hardship, you know, and the lack of job opportunities and insecurity in Nigeria that have driven many individuals, so to speak, to make, you know, this ridiculous journey, so to speak, through North Africa. So NIDCOM has previously played a crucial role in addressing such immigration crisis that has been led by Abike Dabiri Arewa, as has been facilitated by the, you know, all sorts in terms of the thousands of Nigerians from Libya, including those who are stranded in terms of detention centers under the human condition of NIDCOM, rather, you know, intervention often, which I feel that negotiation, you know, and provision of emergency that travels between document and integration of support for returnees. And however, despite all these efforts, many Nigerians, you know, still remain untied in terms of a form of migration of all costs, you know, mentally. The reflection of all of this, I must say that reflect, or will I say, brings to mind, you know, the dangers of the legal immigration. Despite being educated, aware of the risk, you know, many migrants are still turned by the promises of better livelihood, influenced by success stories of all those who have made it abroad, even those who feel that, you know, the reality of where they are right now could be better in terms of the hardship or the failed integration of xenophobia, and even the deaths that await those who take these dangerous routes through Libya. So I just feel that this madness, for lack of a better word right now, you know, this decision lies into the lack of proper assessment of, you know, profit and pros and cons that comes out in many, with many migrants that neglect the options of pursuing legal immigration pathways through education, you know, skills acquisition or entrepreneurship, which might offer a more stable and safety opportunities. And in light of this, I just feel that, you know, it's important for me to create more public awareness for campaigns like this, you know, aim to discourage illegal immigration by promoting realistic options, you know, addressing the socio-economic factors driving all this risk venture. So I just hope that, you know, all of this will come to an end, because in the 80s or 70s, we never saw all these things happening. I don't know where our country is going to. May God help us in this country. But I must say your opinion in 30 seconds.
Oh my God, Kike, I think that also the lack of proper education, you know, is part of the issue where people want to migrate illegally. You just said something about there's a permanent residency route, there's the entrepreneurial route. There are different routes, you know. If you go on the internet, the informations are there and everything. I remember there was a time I wanted to go to Australia, you know, it's under the 189 and 190 visa, you know, that sort of a thing. People should look for the right information, and also there's an economy of people who profit from this trade. That's how I feel about it. So if not, people will not be risking their life. All the monies they make here in Nigeria, they just put
Unfortunately, this is where we draw the curtains of the show. Till I come your way next week, remember to be kind to one another and follow the right procedure when you want to travel abroad. With all the brain drain going on in this country, all of that must come to an end. Unfortunately, I must say, this is where I draw the curtains of the show. Bye now and be good to each other.